We're starting to get some feedback on Facebook, which is awesome, Facebook and Instagram. So this one fellow, he had a number of questions, maybe 6 or 8, and I thought I'd try to pick up on as many as I can. So he wanted to know what I was going to do to increase police funding. My understanding is that police funding has been restored, and staffing levels for the police have been restored to the level that the police chief was looking for. Got a very thorough survey from the fire department. It actually took me a couple of days to research the answers for it. Really appreciate getting that stuff. But the same with police and fire. We need them fully funded, full stop. Will I get harder on Tent City? That is a much broader issue. But what I can tell you with respect to homelessness and addiction is it's a journey. I think great things like what Lethbridge Housing is doing, and it's going to open next month, I believe, on Stafford Drive. There's housing for people that are, I think you have to be in an addictions program to get access to that housing. Those types of things I'm wildly in favor of. The next step is, how do we get people reintegrated into society so they have a reason to get up in the morning? So I don't think there's any one single answer. And that's the other thing I'll say is, anyone that tells you that there's a simple answer to very complex problems, you really shouldn't be listening to. I'm never going to say that. I'll ask some questions. I might have some ideas from great people that are asking great questions. But anyone that tells you that there's simple answers to these things, I don't think is doing the issue any justice. Limit the amount of funding to the arts. I don't know it's so much about limiting funding. I would say that I will not be in favor of pet projects. It has to be linked to something that will grow the city. As a business person, I think anytime I can get partnerships where we can bring great things to the city or improve things or renovate things, anytime we can do stuff like that and bring in partnership money, I'm all over that. Decrease the amount of red tape to get affordable housing built, not only for seniors, but for regular folks between the ages of 30 and 55. Reducing red tape, I think, is a problem throughout Canada. You know, one of the great examples is we had on a federal level, we had a company that was willing to come in and build a pipeline for $4 billion, and they couldn't get through the red tape. In fact, it was impossible to get through the red tape in this country. And so the government had to buy that project and built that same pipeline for $34 billion. So now that's not a Lethbridge example, but I think red tape is a problem. It's a Canadian problem, and anything that we can do to reduce red tape and to attract investment is a great thing. Position on Access-a-Ride. So I had the privilege of meeting a guy. He was in Whitehorse, and he was on something called an Accessibility Advisory Council in Whitehorse. They worked with private industry to get accessibilities in cabs so that people had more options of than just something like Access-a-Ride. I think we do need to explore ways where we could get private cab companies or Ubers, because we do have that here, to make those more accessible. That could be a really good way to leverage ways to spend public money but get even better service for people that need that. Another hospital and or police station. And the next question is, what's my stance on a third bridge? I don't want to be spending money on public projects unless there's a really defined need. I would only be in favor of a third bridge if it helps to improve our position in Alberta, that we can leverage it to help us with, say, the corridor from Lethbridge to Medicine Hat. Then it's much easier to go to the province and say, hey, we have a business case to build this bridge. If there's a commercial reason, if there's something that we can do to really increase our economic footprint, it's much easier for us to get other levels of government to help us fund that. Anyway, just wanted to get some of those comments out. Again, thank you so much. When people want to ask an articulate question and they're respectful about how they ask it, I've got all the time in the day for that. So keep them coming, and we'll do more videos based on your questions.